Hi and welcome back to Canada Top to Bottom. Now, we talk a lot in our videos about different options that are available if you would like to move to Canada, most of which involve having specific work skills, specific work experience, specific post-secondary education. But is it still possible to immigrate to Canada if you don't have much in the way of skills, education or experience? Well, the answer is yes. And today we're going to talk about the options for immigrating to Canada for intermediate or low-skilled workers.
It is of course true that highly skilled professionals such as engineers, managers and doctors are essential to fuel an economy, but it's also important to remember that a country would not be able to function without semi-skilled and or low-skilled workers like cleaners, truck drivers, waiting staff, kitchen workers or fruit pickers. Canada has always been very welcoming to new immigrants, and the country understands that immigrants are essential to help boost the economy. And this doesn't just mean foreign workers with professional qualifications.
For this reason, Canada has created pathways for workers who do not have post-secondary qualifications and who have the ability to work in specific occupations which are in demand in Canada. Now, a regular Canadian work permit almost always requires a Labour Market Impact Assessment, or LMIA, which means that employers must prove that they couldn't find a Canadian citizen or a Canadian permanent resident to do the job. But in an attempt to fill these job shortages in the unskilled occupations, Canada has created immigration pathways which do not require one of these LMIAs. And as a result, they're a lot simpler and a lot quicker to apply for than a traditional work permit.
It's probably important here to explain exactly what we mean by semi-skilled or low-skilled occupations and explain how Canada defines these. Occupations in Canada are classified under the National Occupation Classification, or NOC, and you can click the link below in the description box to find out what your job would be classified as. All occupations are assigned a code, either 0, A, B, C or D, and skilled jobs are classified as NOC skill type 0 or skill level A or B, and intermediate or low skill jobs come under skill level C or D. The minimum requirements for these positions are usually a high school diploma or the international equivalent, with some needing job-specific training and others which will provide on-the-job training.
Some examples of skill level C intermediate skilled occupations which usually require job-specific training are butchers, long-haul truck drivers and food and beverage servers. And some examples of skill level D, low-skilled occupations which generally just need on-the-job training are fruit pickers, cleaning staff and oil field workers.
As we mentioned, low-skilled occupations are equally as important as professional ones to keep an economy afloat. So there is an ever-increasing demand for intermediate and indeed low-skilled workers in Canada. To give you some further examples of some of the low-skilled jobs which are currently in demand, here are the top 10 low-skilled jobs in Canada right now. Truck drivers, hotel front desk workers, industrial butchers and meat cutters, food and beverage servers, general farm workers, housekeepers, livestock workers, welders, pipe fitters and industrial electricians.
If you think that your experience fits any of the examples we have talked about, or if you do not have any education past high school, there are still a number of ways that you can move to Canada, either on a temporary basis with a work permit or immigrating as a permanent resident. We'll talk you through some of the programs that are available for moving to Canada as an intermediate or a low-skilled worker.
We'll start with Provincial Nominee programs. These are immigration programs run by each individual Canadian province which invite foreign workers to apply for permanent residence in order to fill the job shortages in their labour market. Of course, every province is different and has different needs, so no two provinces will be looking for exactly the same workers across the same sectors. Your choice of destination in Canada may depend on where your experience lies and which province is looking to attract workers with your background.
Each province runs a number of different immigration programs and streams based on their labour market needs, ranging from physician streams to childcare workers and nurses. However, several provinces have specific programs aimed at low-skilled workers. Here are 4 of the most popular provincial nominee programs for unskilled or intermediate skilled foreign nationals.
Firstly, the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, which at the end of 2021 opened a new pathway called the International Skilled Worker Hard to Fill Skills Pilot. Quite a mouthful. This is specifically for intermediate and low skilled workers in eligible high demand occupations such as, for example, labourers, farm workers, caretakers and cleaners, home support workers and housekeepers. To apply, you must have at least 1 year of work experience in the past 3 years or 6 months of working full-time in Saskatchewan in the job in question, a language score of at least CLB 4 in English or French, a completed high school education and a permanent full-time job in Saskatchewan. If you're not yet familiar with CLB levels, watch our video on languages and language levels to find out more. The link's above.
Secondly, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program has a stream called the Employer Job Offer In-Demand Skills Stream, which offers permanent residence to foreign workers with a job offer in specific in-demand occupations such as agriculture, construction, trucking, and personal support work. The applicant must have a full-time permanent job offer and must be in one of the specified occupations that we just mentioned with a NOC skill level C or D. The full list can be found by clicking the link below and includes things such as nurse aides, heavy equipment operators, industrial butchers, and construction trades labourers. You must also have a high school diploma, at least 9 months work experience in the job in the previous 3 years, and prove your language level to CLB level 4 in English or French.
Thirdly, we have the very popular British Columbia Provincial Nominee Program, which has an entry-level and semi-skilled worker category of their skilled worker program. This is for workers in the tourism, hospitality, long-haul trucking or food processing industries who want to move to Canada permanently. Similar to the previous programs, to apply, you will need a full-time permanent job offer from a BC employer. You must already be working for your employer and have been working full-time for a minimum of 9 months before applying, and you must also meet the minimum language and education requirements of CLB 4.
Similar to the previous programs, to apply you will need a full-time permanent job offer from a BC employer. You must already be working for your employer and have been working full-time for a minimum of 9 months before applying, and you must also meet the minimum language and education requirements of the program.
Finally, the Nova Scotia Nominee Program has a semi-skilled and low-skilled workers option as part of its skilled worker stream. To apply, you must have a full-time permanent job offer from a Nova Scotia employer, 1 year of work experience related to the job, including 6 months experience with the employer offering the job. You must be aged between 21 and 55, with a high school diploma, and be able to prove that you can speak either English or French to a CLB level 4.
As you can see, all the provincial nominee programs require a job offer from a Canadian employer. And of course, remember that applying for a provincial nominee program does not guarantee permanent residence in Canada. So to try and increase the chance of success, you should try and apply to the provinces where your skills and your experience are in demand.
But it's not just provincial nominee programs which can help you immigrate to Canada. There are, in addition, many more options, and there are some great programs out there, including one which doesn't require a job offer. There is an immigration program called the Agri-Food pilot, which will run until May 2023 and is a pathway for skilled farm and livestock workers to move to Canada and apply for permanent residence. In order to apply for this program, you do need Canadian work experience and a full-time job offer from a Canadian employer in one of the eligible industries or occupations. And you also need to meet the language and educational requirements. The eligible industries or occupations include cattle ranching and farming, poultry and egg production, sheep and goat farming, retail butchers, specialised livestock workers. Click on the link below to see the full list. As with the previous programs, you need at least a language level of CLB level 4 in English or French and a minimum of a high school education.
Another similar immigration program is called the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot, which is a program designed to help smaller rural communities in Canada benefit from economic immigration and foreign workers. This is a community-driven program, which means that the community itself will assess candidates who have a genuine intention of staying in that community, and they will decide whether they fit the economic needs of the community. Participating provinces are British Columbia, Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan and Alberta.
The great thing about this program is that you don't need a job offer. You just need either qualifying work experience, which can be inside or outside Canada, or have graduated from an institution in the community in question. You have to meet the language and education requirements and also meet the community-specific requirements, as each community will have additional requirements for their applicants. Workers from all skill levels and occupations are welcome to apply for this program, but all candidates must have at least a high school education, and those with occupations from NOC skill level C and D must have a language level of CLB4.
The Atlantic Immigration Programme, or AIP, is a very popular programme which allows foreign workers to immigrate to one of Canada's 4 Atlantic provinces, which are Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick and Newfoundland and Labrador. Like the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Programme, this programme is open to applicants from all occupations, from professional workers to intermediate skilled workers in NOC skill level C positions. To be eligible, you must have a full-time job offer from one of the 4 Atlantic provinces, full-time work experience of at least 1 year in the last 5 years, unless you are a graduate from a university in one of the participating provinces. You also need a high school education and a language level of CLB4.
The final program we're going to mention today is the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, which allows employers to hire foreign workers when they're facing short-term skills and labour shortages, and when there aren't any Canadian citizens, or indeed permanent residents, available to fill a position. There are various streams under this program, including the low-wage worker stream, the agriculture worker stream, and the home care provider stream. With regards to language and education, there are actually no formal requirements. It's up to the employer offering the job to ensure that you can speak enough English or French and that you have sufficient training or experience or education to competently do the job. This program is not a pathway to immigration, it would just be providing a temporary work permit. However, once you're in Canada and have some work experience, you may then be able to apply for permanent residence on the back of that experience. So this is a great first step towards getting that PR. Check out the links below to see if any of these streams would be something you are interested in.
Okay, so we hope this video has given you some inspiration if you thought that moving to Canada was only possible with qualifications and skills. It's definitely not. There are a lot of options for people without post-secondary education, so check out the links in the description box below and let us know if you're thinking of getting started on moving to Canada.